Step into the unknown with the shadow frequency and your host, Matt Wilson, as he takes you where the shadows hum.
Hello, listeners, and welcome to another chilling installment of the Shadow Frequency. I'm Juniper, your producer, pulling the strings behind the scenes to bring you tales that linger in the dark corners of reality. Tonight, our host, Matt Wilson, dives into a case that blurs the line between the earthly and the extraterrestrial, the Dechmont Woods UFO Encounter. It's a story of one man, a quiet forest, and something utterly inexplicable that left its mark, both on the ground and in the annals of the unknown. So dim the lights, settle in, and let the shadows guide you. Matt, take it away. In 3, 2, 1.
Welcome, Shadow Seekers, to the Shadow Frequency. I'm Matt Wilson, your guide through the murky depths where the ordinary unravels into the uncanny. Tonight, we're stepping into the damp, whispering woods of Dechmont Law, Scotland. A place where, on November 9, 1979, a man named Robert Taylor stumbled into a nightmare that still echoes through time. Picture this, a cold gray morning, the kind where the mist clings to the pines like a shroud. Robert, a forestry worker, is out with his dog doing his rounds. The air's heavy, the silence thicker than it should be. Then he sees it. Hovering just above the ground, a massive dome-shaped object, dark, metallic, and wrong. About 20 feet across. It's not a machine you'd mistake for anything human-made. Spikes protrude from its surface, shifting like they're alive, retracting and extending in some grotesque rhythm. Robert freezes. His dog starts barking, frantic. But he can't move. The air smells burnt, acrid, like something's frying the atmosphere itself. Then 2 smaller spheres drop from the thing, spiky, rolling toward him like sea mines on land. They're fast, deliberate, and they grab him. He feels them latch onto his legs, cold metal digging into his flesh. There's a pull, a sickening tug dragging him toward the craft. His boots scrape the dirt, leaving gouges in the earth, marks that'll be found later. A silent scream etched into the soil. Then a wave of nausea hits him, a stench like sulfur choking his lungs. Everything goes black. When he comes to, he's face down in the mud, alone. The craft's gone, his dog's pacing, whimpering. His trousers are torn at the thighs, ripped clean through where those things grabbed him, and his head's pounding like something's been drilled into his skull. Robert staggers home, dazed, and tells his wife what happened. She thinks he's lost it, until she sees the state of him, the rips, the dirt, the terror in his eyes. He calls the police, and here's where it gets wild. This isn't just another UFO yarn. They investigate. They find the tracks in the ground, deep, uneven impressions where he was dragged, and circular marks where that thing hovered. This isn't a hoax you fake with a shovel and a story. Something was there, something real, and it left Robert shaken to his core, a man who'd never chased fame or tall tales. What did he meet that day in Dechmont Woods? Let's hold that thought. Juniper's got a break for us.
Well, folks, how's that for a walk in the woods you'll never forget? Matt got us hooked on this creepy encounter, and I'm betting some of you are wondering, was Robert Taylor just a guy in the wrong place at the wrong time? Or did something out there pick him for a reason? We've got more to unpack, including what the police found and why this case still haunts UFO lore. If you're loving the Shadow Frequency, please like and subscribe and follow us on YouTube, TikTok, and Facebook. We can really use it. And listen on your favorite podcast directory. Also, you can join us at patreon.com/Shadow Frequency. You can drop us a line and suggest an episode. And You can also email us at shadowpodcast@protonmail.com. Well, it's time for our mailbag segment, where you, our listeners, light up the shadows with your thoughts. But first, I've got to push the button.
It's time for the Shadow Frequency Mailbag.
We've got one email to read this episode here. It says, "Hey, Juniper and Matt, I've been binging the Shadow Frequency for weeks. I'm obsessed. Your Out of Time Artifacts episode blew my mind. Those ancient gears and impossible tools. I can't stop thinking about what else might be buried out there." You and me both, Sarah. Thanks. We appreciate that. All right, it's time to get back now to Matt and the second half of the show in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back, Shadow Seekers. We're deep in Dechmont Woods now, where Robert Taylor's run-in with the unknown left scars on him and on the ground. The police didn't just shrug it off. They cordoned off the site, took samples, measured those eerie marks. 40 ladder-like impressions, like something heavy had pressed down, and those drag marks, consistent with Robert's story of being pulled. The tears in his trousers? Forensic test shows they were ripped upward, as if by force, not faked. This wasn't a man tripping over a branch. This was something else. Robert stuck to his story till the day he died in 2007. No embellishments, no wild claims, just a quiet, stubborn certainty. He said the craft was like nothing he'd ever seen, a hulking, silent thing that didn't belong. Skeptics tried to pin it on a seizure, a hallucination from wild berries, even Venus reflecting weirdly in the mist. But those tracks, that torn fabric, the sulfur smell he couldn't shake, that's harder to dismiss. The cops treated it like a crime scene because to Robert it was an assault, the only UFO case in the UK ever investigated as such. Imagine it, you're alone in the woods. The world feels off, and then this, a machine, alive yet not, reaching for you with spiked claws. Robert never worked those woods again. He said he felt watched, like whatever it was might come back. And here's the kicker. Locals still report strange lights over Dechmont Law, flickers in the trees that don't explain themselves. Was it aliens, a secret experiment, or something older, something that's always been there, waiting in the shadows of those pines? The frequency's buzzing with questions, but the answers, they're still out there lurking. That's all for this episode, Shadow Seekers. Juniper's got the final word.
And there you have it, folks, the Dechmont Woods UFO Encounter, a story that clings to the edges of belief. Thanks for tuning in to the Shadow Frequency with Matt Wilson. I'm Juniper, your producer, signing off for now. Keep your eyes on the shadows and your ears tuned to the frequency. Until next time, stay curious and stay spooky.